I guess there are about 50 people here, almost 42 participants. Thank you for joining today. Welcome to the webinar on building a career in cybersecurity. This is an initiative by GCC's professional ministry. We have a few of our leaders here. We can start. Like I invite Arun Kodamulil to welcome the panelists and the participants.
Thank you, Jacob, for the introduction. First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining this webinar on career guidance in cybersecurity. So this is a webinar organized by the Professionals Ministry of Jesus Youth India. As we all know, digitalization is the new way of life. And because of that very fact, cybersecurity is not an optional subject, but a must practice for each one of us here. And in that context, Jesus Youth Professionals Ministry initiated this webinar to help the people who are aspiring to build a career in cybersecurity. So we have an eminent panel of resources joined us today to help us with this topic. We have Naveen Joseph, we have Jevin Sebastian and Vipin George, and we have Jacob, who is the host for us today. On behalf of the entire people joined today, I welcome all the resources to this webinar. I would also like to welcome all our participants who have joined this webinar from the different parts of the country. I welcome all of you on behalf of the ministry. Once again, thank you for joining in. Without wasting any time, we'll directly get into the subject. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun Chetta. Naveen Chetta, yeah, over to you.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Arun and Jacob, for quick intro. You know, we are going to be here for another, say, 1 hour, 50 minutes. We will be, you know, looking for certain things. We may not be looking for certain things. So I'm here to say what to expect in this 2-hour session, or what not to expect, kind of, you know, intro. And also some of the key areas which we see in general for cybersecurity world in current and coming future. So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here once again. You know, cybersecurity, as we all know, it's a very promising or growing or on demand, high demand job opportunity, you know, as we speak, or in the coming decade. You know, everyone talks about it. Everyone thinks that this is going to be very, you know, lucrative or very attractive job. And at the same time, this profession lacks a lot of qualified or skilled resources. You know, Gartner says there are emerging requirements that's coming in cybersecurity where you know, a lot of shortage in the skill sets. You know, if you just simply Google it, you know, you will see the kind of demand we have for the cybersecurity talent in the markets. In cybersecurity talent in markets, US market, it says, you know, one of the cybersecurity requirement, you know, if an opening is placed, there's just one candidate per opening is what the trend says. So that means, you know, if you see in Indian world, we may be having a little more kind of, you know, candidates applying for it, but still, you know, in the last week and the week before that, I interviewed a few candidates for some of the security roles in my company. where we didn't get the right resource. Just, one opening, I got 3 profiles, out of which only 1 candidate was actually matching. The other one was just an aspirant. So all I wanted to hear say is, we have a lot of opening around the cybersecurity currently in place and then the years to come. But am I a person who is really going to be the cybersecurity professional which the industry wants? Is it something which for me to work on? Is it my passion? Is it something which I can really enjoy as a job? Is it something which I can really contribute for the company which I'm working for and for the society and for the larger world? You need to have all these things in your mind when you pick up a career in your life. We see the webinar announced, and we see almost 240 participants or interested people registered for it or request shown interest here. But in that very interesting trend, around 40 people, they're still school going students. So that shows a very good trend. A lot of interest in this area. But at the same time, many people having some myths in it. They think that when you talk about cybersecurity, the first thing that comes to your mind is about what? Can you, any of you, can you put a comment there? What is that comes to your mind when you hear about, yeah, I'm already seeing comment here, hacking. So that's something which everyone thinks as the first thing, the kind of cybersecurity role or job which you are gonna be looking for, hacking. Yeah, we also see secure communication. Yeah, good that we are getting different kind of perspective. It is not just about hacking. That is what I wanted to say here. We have Nirmal mentioned secure communication. So that's an excellent example outside of hacking, which we can think about the cybersecurity, jobs. So we are not gonna be talking about in a job-oriented skill. This is not a job-oriented skill training. We are not gonna be teaching you about any specific technical skill sets that you can, gain in next 1 hour and then apply for a job and get it. No, that is not what we are trying to cover here. But we at the same we have a deck where we have a lot of knowledgeable people here. We have very experienced people in our panel who will be talking about a lot of different domains. We have different kind of opportunities, different kind of areas where you can focus and develop your career and then from there you can probably think through it and identify your key area. So that is what we are trying to cover here. We are once again we are trying to say we are not planning to give any technical training here. This is not a session. It's not a technical session per se. This will be an orientation session, an awareness session where you will see a lot of different domains within cybersecurity and a lot of different opportunities within the cybersecurity which you can explore. So that is what our key intention. So you'll be hearing more about what we can do after this session, how we can help out after this session, etc., in the coming sessions. So we heard about a lot of opportunities available, a lot of job in demand in currently and the coming decade. But I really wanted to say one very important thing with all of you. Why do you need a job? Why do you need to work on cybersecurity? That's one important question. The another question, the baseline for any job, you should be having a mindset of why I am working for. It's not just for money. We all know that. I mean, I don't want to say that again. So we are here in this world for a purpose. Everyone in this world is having some purpose to fulfill in this, in this world, wherever you belongs to, in your society, or in the company which you are working for. Each company exists for a certain purpose. You are trying to contribute to the larger purpose. So think it in that perspective. If you pick a job, you are going to be contributing to the society for some or other way. Now, how you can contribute to society? In the positive way, in the good way, which will help the society, the country, the humanity to grow and nurture and, take care of the things that is entrusted to us. So you should have that mindset in you. In this world, the technology is used for a lot of good things, and at the same time, it is used for a lot of bad things. People exploit the technology for the bad purpose. So we need a generation of techies that comes forward to focus on how we can use the technology. In here, we are talking about the cybersecurity world, which actually works in a value system, which actually, help the society to grow and sustain and, flourish, to help each other. So that should be your perspective. Otherwise, if you are using your skill sets or your, the God-given talents for a wrong purpose, then we are actually exploiting the gifts and talents we are giving for a wrong purpose, and we are actually, spoiling your career, your society, your family, and the world. So we should have a holistic view of why you are doing this job, why you need to work, and how you can help each other to create a sustainable society, or a more, inclusive society for each and every human being. So Genesis chapter 2:15 says, the Lord God actually, after creation, he says to man, and he settled the man in the Garden of Eden, and then he tells him, cultivate and care for it. So we are actually here to care for this world. We should be caring each other. We should be caring, using your skills and talents on wherever you are responsible for, wherever you are in. And that should be your baseline when you aspirate, when you have some aspiration for a career. The same way for the cybersecurity. You are here to care for the technology. You are here to care for the people. That should be your baseline. We need that kind of people in the society and in the world where you're working for. So with that, I would like to conclude my keynote here. We will be having a lot of people, the very knowledgeable people here, Jabin and, Vipin, Arun, Jacob, everyone will be talking more about the cybersecurity opportunities here. So I hope you will enjoy and you will have a good time here. You will have a lot of takeaways. You may have a lot of questions. So we will have a fruitful time. And I wish you all the best in picking up a career, right career, and move forward. Thank you very much. Over to you, Jacob.
Thank you, Naveen Chettu. So now we are starting with the core content of our webinar today. Please, if you can, please scan the QR code in the screen, or use the link given here. This is a small application called Slido. We are using this particular application to make this session more interactive. So from now on, our panelists, Mr. Vipin and Jepin, will take over and start with the content. Each at any point of time when you have questions, please put your questions here. And if your question is already being asked, like you can, when you click on this link or log into this link, you can see the list of questions already asked in the screen. So if your question is already asked, please upvote it or add votes to it so that we can prioritize the questions with more raised by more people. So please use this link, put it in your browser, and so that you can add the questions. I invite Mr. Vipin to take start. So to give a small introduction, Mr. Vipin is a professional cyber forensics consultant. He has a stellar career across multiple organizations in the public domain and private domain. So please, Mr. Vipin, start.
Thank you, Jacob, for the wonderful introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thanks. Good afternoon. In this session, okay, at first we are going to see why we have to invest our time in cybersecurity. I hope you have seen the slide, right? There is a threat map over here. You can see that there is cyber attacks originating from one country and it is reaching some other country. Okay, this is just a slide. Shall we see a live demo of it? Okay, we shall go to a live demo of it, and then we will continue with our discussion. Okay, let me focus to India. Okay, you can see that there are some real-time attacks happening right now. Okay, it is originating from some of the European countries and Middle East and all, and some of the attacks are reaching India as well, and some of the attacks are originating from India as well. Could you see the map? Let me know in the chat box. You can use the audio as well. Okay, fine. Okay, so cyber attacks are happening at each and every moment. This map is almost real time. Okay, not a complete real time map. So this is the reason that's why we are investing our time with cyber security. Cyber attacks are increasing, and the people who are doing all these things are called hackers, right? There are some security myths. Hackers will attack only huge companies, and we are not okay. And the people are not at all affected by cyber attacks. Only large organizations are affected by cyber attacks. It's not like that. Even ordinary people are attacked by the hackers, and the most common example is the ransomware, which encrypts our files. And then hackers are not organized. There are organized people in cybercrime. Nowadays, with the dark web and all, many of the cyber crimes, many of the hackers are providing cybercrime as a service. So if anybody wants, they can hire a hacker, and then we can use this expertise of that hacker. It is not a good thing to do, right? So we are here to protect people, and we should be doing that. Then hackers rush into systems and get out of systems as soon as they can. These are the myths that are propagated by the movie industry. In movies, they always shows us an example of hacking as somebody sitting on a system and typing something at a faster pace. It is not like that. Expert hackers always moves in slowly and moves out slowly, so to avoid any detection. And then the next one, hackers cannot see what you are browsing in the private or the incognito mode. Those things could also be seen by a hacker if there is a malware in your system. Then hackers cannot compromise smartphones. Nowadays with Pegasus and all, we all are aware of the security threats on mobile phones. Then hackers can only grab data if users download a malware. With Pegasus, without a click, malware is getting installed on mobile phones. And all these things are affecting only computers and mobile phones. But nowadays, every system is getting connected to the internet. The next one that you can see, okay, this is the hackers cannot intercept emails. Nowadays, hackers are interested in intercepting instant messages or Facebook messages and all those things. Only in corporate world, the hackers are interested in intercepting emails. Okay, coming to the physical world, this is the real threat. This is an example of an exploit that has been experimented in US. This is the same kind of Jeep that is available over here, but a different version. Hackers were able to take the control of the onboard computer of this device, and they have changed the settings of the brakes. So it is affecting the physical world as well. Not only that, the cyber attack on the recent cyber attack on the US pipeline, it really affected the physical world. The real thing that happens at our homes, if you are connected to an IP camera, is this. If you are not changing the default username, default password of an IP camera, hackers would be connecting to our IP camera, and they would be able to stalk on us. So as a side note, I would suggest you to change the password of the IP camera, that if you're having an IP camera at your home, it is a good idea to change the password of that IP camera. So in all these slides, I have I have been trying to explain the relevance of these cyber attacks. In India, up to June 2021, there has been more than 6 lakh cybersecurity incidents, and in that almost above 18,000 of them are directed towards government organizations. So there is relevance for cybersecurity to protect everyone from these cyber attacks. So now in India also there is the existence of this cyber insurance, which will cover ransomware also. I hope you are familiar with the word ransomware. Let me know in the chat box if you are familiar with the word ransomware, the kind of malware which will encrypt our files. Right, that's good. So why cybersecurity is a good career choice? It really impacts people. Okay, if there are any questions, you can use the audio. I think there is someone who is unmuted. Feel free to interrupt me at any time. Okay. So this job has a real impact. It really affects people. So if you're working to protect people, it really helps. And it is everyone's business. Nowadays, no one else is left behind the internet world. Everyone is getting connected and everyone is connected to the internet. Then there is another reason. They earn high salaries. These are the statistics from 2018. Okay, and a security auditor has an average salary of 9,81,000 rupees. A cyber security architect has much better one, and an information security manager is getting more than 10 lakh. These are the statistics from 2018, and it has improved drastically in the last 3 years. And there is one interesting thing. There is something for everyone in cybersecurity. You don't have to be a techie to be working in a cybersecurity. There are alternative career paths, something like legal and regulatory compliance, business analysis, entrepreneurship. Then there is threat intelligence. People who are interested in data science and threat intelligence, they can have it. So it is not mandatory for a person to be a techie to come into this cybersecurity world. Then this shows the monetary damage that has been reported due to cybercrime in US. The graph shows that in 2020 there has been how much of the loss? 4,200 million US dollars has been lost due to cybercrime. So people are investing in cybersecurity to protect its assets from these kinds of cyber attacks. So some mythbusters. Is a science degree required for a person to be a cybersecurity professional? You can answer in the chat box or you can use the audio. Is a science degree required? Okay, feel free to respond in the chat box.
No.
Right. That's good. Okay, there is an answer. Okay, keep on coming. It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory to have a science degree if you want a career in cybersecurity. There are people who are coming from a commerce background, from an arts background, and they are investing their time to learn the basic fundamentals of cybersecurity, and then they can move on with their career with their skill set. Okay. Do we need to be a networking genius? I'm talking about the computer networking field. Is it mandatory to have a networking skill? It is good to have a networking skill, but it is not mandatory to have networking genius kind of skill. So if you are lacking networking skills, you can go to this course. This is just a suggestion. You can go to this course on YouTube, The Bits and Bytes of Computer Networking. It's from Google. It's a very interesting course, and you can gather the necessary networking skills from this course. Yeah, basic knowledge is required. That's right. Basic knowledge is always required, and you can gain those skills. Okay, even if you're not coming from a science background, you can gain those skills and excel in cybersecurity field. And there is one another interesting question: is hardware knowledge required? This is about, we are always discussing about computer software, right?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Joseph here.
Okay.
I have a small doubt.
Sure. Please.
If I'm coming from another stream, so I have an interest to learn cybersecurity. So what will be the basic knowledge for getting this kind of things like cybersecurity, which will be the basic software like Java, Python, blah blah. What is that?
Sure, those things are coming in the coming. Okay, in the coming slides, we'll be discussing those things. And if those things are not clear for you, you may please ask at the end of the session. We'll be discussing all these things. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep on.
So just if you only have questions like the generic question like Joseph just asked, we can keep those questions to the end of the session. But if you saw something here Vipin, if I want to ask you bits and bytes of computer networking, where is this course available? If you have I remember you telling me like a couple of weeks back, this course is available for free in Coursera, right?
Right.
So if you have questions like that, regarding the content on screen to make the session more interactive, you can raise it right away. But if you have more generic questions like the ones Joseph just asked, please use Slido. I'll put the Slido link in the chat for reference.
Oh, that will be great, Jacob. Thank you. Okay. It's good to have a basic kind of computer hardware knowledge. It's okay. You can say that it's a CompTIA A+ level of knowledge. You can search for this CompTIA A+ level on Google and you can learn about it. It's a good course, okay, and you can have the resources. Okay, all these resources are available online for free. Okay, nowadays you can learn anything from the internet and make good use of those resources. Okay, next question: do we need to code? Okay, for that also, it is not mandatory, but learning Python is a good idea. And you can have a good course, free course of Python from this link. Okay, this is from the Harvard University. It's available for free. The course is updated and it has good coverage of Python fundamentals, basics of Python. So even if a person who is not interested in coding, he can come into cybersecurity. Then, is Linux knowledge a must? Linux, it's an interesting question. You can answer in the chat box. Is it necessary to have a Linux knowledge? Okay, okay. Ashil has answered it right. Okay, Ben has answered it right. It's a good thing to have a Linux knowledge. Some of the good forensic tools and applications are available in the Linux platform, and some of the security distributions, Linux specific Linux distributions focused towards cybersecurity are available. So it is a good idea to have a basic knowledge of Linux. Then there is one another thing. Have you heard of bug bounty programs? Most of the organizations, yeah, they do have responsible vulnerability disclosure programs. Some of the famous ones are listed over here. Google Vulnerability Reward Program, VRP. And then there is a Facebook bug bounty program, where in these bug bounty programs, if you are reporting the bugs to the organizations without publishing the bug anywhere else, if you are reporting it to these companies, they will provide you with a bug bounty amount corresponding to the severity of the bug that you are reporting. Some of the students these days are reporting bugs and they are earning a good amount of money, and they are investing that money into learning again new stuff. Okay, so bug bounty programs are a good idea, okay, for a quick start. But if you're new to cybersecurity and if you want to learn through doing something, there is one another thing. This is the Capture the Flag contest. This is one of the best ways to learn cyber security specific skills. Participate in Capture the Flag competitions And this is one of the hyperlinks I have added over here. Capture the Flag 101. This is a good website where it will list the sub categories of cybersecurity. And if you want to develop expertise in any of the subsets of cybersecurity, it is a good idea to go through this link and explore the resources over there. And some of the competitions, even if they are over, CTF archive will store a copy of those competition, the resources, the files, and all those things, so that you can refer them while exploring the world of cyber security. Okay, now for more insights, over to Mr. Jevin Sebastian for giving more insights into the cybersecurity world.
Hi, good afternoon all. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, we
Jacob?
can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, that's great. So, okay. I know many of you are interested in cybersecurity, and there can be some experts as well. I mean, even the real hackers as well. So I recognize all of you, all of your ambitions, all of your skills. And it's always great to speak to youngsters with enthusiasm and energy. And that's what I see in front of me. A number of youngsters who are capable enough to build and improve the security of the world and India. Okay, so I appreciate and congratulate you for the effort which you have put in place. Okay, now what are you going to listen in the coming 20 minutes? I can give a brief understanding. Okay, few years ago I met a person, an youngster, and this person was very much disappointed. And when I spoke to this person, I understood this person had joined for a costly cybersecurity course, considering that cybersecurity is a good profession, a well-paid profession. This person joined for a cybersecurity course, and after going through the sessions, after attending the course, this person realized I am not at all fit for the career as a hacker or security expert. So many of you also may have this doubt in your place. Where are you going to be placed in the cybersecurity world? Now, like Arun and Naveen Chetan was repeatedly saying, everybody in the cybersecurity world are not hackers. But there is a place for most of you, but not all of you. Okay. So in this coming session, okay, this is where I thought, okay, let me break down the cybersecurity professions into 6 different streams. Okay, this is not a conventional way of doing it, but it is for your understanding. You search in the web with this kind of a methodology, you are not going to find any resources explaining this. Okay, this breakdown is done for you to understand the concept. And what I wanted you to do, you take a piece of paper or open a notepad, okay? And when I explain about different jobs or different skills which are available in the field, okay, you note down the ones which are apt for you, because some of our future programs are based on those kind of interest groups. Okay, so given this introduction, I will come to the 6 different streams of cybersecurity. Okay, so you can see it in the screen. We are going in detail about each one of this, and very detailed about cyber forensic. The high level understanding of all the first 5 streams will be given, and a detailed understanding of cyber forensic will be given. And to give that, we have an expert here, without saying who is that. Okay, so let's go to the cyber defense. The next slide. Now, we need a set of people who will have to protect the cyber security of an organization. Now, imagine an organization or a country, okay, how are we ensuring the physical security? We have people, we have the army, we have the police, we have the law enforcement. A similar structure is followed in the cyber security as well. Okay, so all these people are very important. Okay, you ask for a judge to, I mean, you don't expect a judge to be an expert in using a weapon, but he's an important person in building the nation. Similarly, you expect a somebody in the border security force to understand the tactics, understand the wars, okay, war tactics, and defend the country. So similarly, in different areas, okay, in the cyber in security operation, you can consider it as a set of people who are the army, who really protect the organization. Now, what you see here, the picture you can see, it's a kind of a SOC room, okay, or security operation center. So this team, what they do, they go through different things happening in the organization, and the security analyst is the guy who will be analyzing it. And when they find something is wrong, they will create it as a security incident. Now, the second one, security incident responder. Now, when there is a security incident, they found somebody is trying to hack the organization, or there is a suspicious activities happening. So, security incidenter is the security response team is the guys who are going to handle it. Now, threat hunter is another level, an advanced knowledge. They go into different things. They analyze different logs. They analyze different events, and they will be they are kind of the matured level of security analysts. They will identify different upcoming threats. Now, to give an example, something is happening in the dark web, and somebody is speaking about our organization. Okay, I mean, somebody is asking, okay, do you have the password of ADC organization? Okay, so that means somebody is trying to hack the organization. All these are detected by the threat hunting. Now, red team and blue team. Now, we need to practice the things. So we divide, the organization can divide their security team into two areas, red team and blue team. The red team are the guys who will initiate or simulate an attack, and blue team are the guys who will defend it. Okay, now sometimes we take this service from outside as well, outside the organization as well. Okay, next is malware analysis. So different, I mean, you understand, the hackers uses malware. Okay, not always, but it's one of the way. Okay, one of the tactics they use is malware. Now, it can be hidden in some files. So those analyses are performed by malware analysts. And forensic analysis, I'm not speaking more about this here because we have a detailed session at the end. Now, SIM administration. Now, all the security events of the organizations can be captured into a centralized point. Okay, and an eagle eye kind of a view can be given so that people can understand, people can correlate. Now, 2-3 different things are happening in the organization. Okay, some person is receiving a malicious email. Okay, another person, I mean, infected with a malware, and another person, and another network device looks like lot of DDoS attack. Can there be any relation between all these events? So those correlation, those tracking, and all those events are handled in the SIM tool. Now, somebody who provides the input for the analyst and the information for incident responder and threat hunter. So that person is going to be the SIM administrator. Now, another thing happens in the organization is identifying the vulnerabilities within the organization. Now, I use thousands of softwares in my organization. Whether they have any backdoors available, whether all my endpoints, all my systems are updated. So all those analyses are performed by the vulnerability analyst. Now, coming into how can you kickstart a career here? Of course, you would require to have a basic understanding of infrastructure. I mean, a good understanding of IT infrastructure and network. So if you do not have, you can look for an A+ and N+ course and a security analyst certification or CEH. Okay, this is a way for you to start the career. And the coding skill, you just require to have a very basic or minimum skill. Okay, if you're looking for start a career. But look at the 2 stars. Okay, if you are looking for them, then you would require to have an advanced knowledge in that. Okay, so what is I plus and N plus? Okay, A plus is a very basic understanding certification about computers and say hardwares, all those kind of things. N plus is for the network. Okay, N plus is a basic of network. So understanding how a basic infrastructure is going to be. So that's what covered here. Yeah, we'll move to the next slide. Now, in the cyber defense as well, again, we would there need to be a set of people who need to ensure that our network is secure. So they perform a network vulnerable VAPT. So they assess what are the security gaps in that. So those guys will be doing it. Those guys will be performing the network VAPT. VAPT is a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay, and the set of people who will look into different. Okay, now we have a office infrastructure available. What are the gaps in that? So those configuration need to be reviewed. So that's another assessment related skill. Now, threat hunting and bug bounty, you already heard about that one in the beginning. Okay, it can be done for applications, it can be done for product as well. And those, I mean, if you wanted to do that, you need to have advanced or expert level of coding understanding. And config review, architecture review, network VAPT coding skill is required. And these are the different certifications which are required here. Okay, you can see it on the GRC penetration tester, OSCP. Those are the certifications required for this. Now, any advanced level, okay, whenever you see these 2 stars, okay, that's not an advisable place for you to begin your career. Okay, but that's a part, that's the next level in your career path. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Now, so we were speaking about defense in the beginning. Okay, the guys who are protecting the organization, the guys who are defending the organization. Now, we need to have a set of people who are securing the organization. Okay, we can call them as IT security team. So there are different levels of security available. Now, I don't want you to look into the details of this diagram. Okay, this is one of the very basic diagram I can say. Okay, of an architecture, network security architecture, and of an organization, which contains different type of security devices at the network level, at the infrastructure level, at the web application level. Okay, so we need to have set of people who are managing it. Now, if you are somebody who is already started your career in IT infrastructure and wanted to move to the cyber security or security field, okay, upgrading your knowledge in this field, okay, that's a good way. Now, if you look into the skills required, again, you need to have A plus and N plus, or understanding about the infrastructure. Then along with that, product certificate. Now, if you wanted to manage a network which is using a Cisco firewall, okay, so or Cisco devices, you need to have a CCNA security and those kind of certificates. Now, if you're if you wanted to have more knowledge on, let me pick one, infrastructure, okay, infrastructure components or cloud related components, okay, so you need to have specific certifications related to that technology. Now, if you have already started your career somewhere in any of these technical aspects, any of the security aspects of network or infrastructure or web or email, okay, or cloud, you can upgrade your knowledge and get a certification related to that specific product. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Now, in IT security itself, there are different tools available to secure the organization. Consider, I mean, somebody is trying to send some sensitive or confidential information, okay, confidential information to outside. To take an example, I mean, somebody is working in a bank and they may have information related to our bank accounts, our account number or those kind of information. may not be full, but I mean, based on some part could be masked, and consider this kind of an information is available. And somebody is trying to send it, copy it on a USB or send it over the mail. So to protect that, to stop that, we use a tool called DLP, Data Leak Prevention System. Okay, so this kind of, and identity and access management, that's the second one. Okay, then ensuring that the endpoints or the device which we use in an organization are secured. So that's having an antivirus software, that's having an MDM, that's having a endpoint encryption, those kind of security toolings, okay, related to endpoint is available. So that's where the endpoint security comes in place. Now next is about the MDM. Now any mobile device management. Consider all of us are using, I mean, all the employees in the organization may use mobile devices for storing their emails or reading their emails. What if they get any sensitive information? What if they lost that device? What can be done? So that's where an MDM gives a control over that. Not just the mobiles, mobile devices, including the laptop as well. Somebody stolen your laptop, an employee's laptop. What can be done? Can we click on a button and format that device, format that laptop? Some of you might have tried it using your Google account and formatted your phone remotely. Okay, maybe an advanced version where it can be managed for thousands of 10,000s of employees from a centralized control. So that's where MDM comes in place. Now, I spoke about the malware analysis earlier as well, identifying the malware hidden. I mean, maybe there can be malwares available which may not be detectable by your anti-malware or antivirus solution, but there can be a sandboxing which can be available, and using the sandbox, that malware can be analyzed, identified what were the tactics, how they were trying to attack. Okay, and based on that one, a precaution or prevention mechanism can be built. Patch management, again, we need to update the patches in our devices. The basic Windows update. Similarly, the patch can be for any of the networking or any of the servers or devices. It can be for switches, it can be for routers, it can be for IPS, IDS, or it can be for any of your security toolings. It can be for your endpoints. So a team which manages the patch management of organization. So that's another skill. Email security. Okay, that's another one. We know most of the attacks happens, I mean, begins or starts with the email. So phishing email, I believe you are aware of the term phishing. Okay. Otherwise, I mean, not much time to explain it in this part of this session. Probably if the time permits, we can have it at the end. Ensure that the emails received by the organization is secure. So they does not contain any malicious URL. They does not contain any malicious attachments. So all those elements will be checked by the email security team. And vulnerability analysis as well. Again, I have given an indication in the cyber defense aspect. So ensuring that all the devices in the organization are protected, secure. There does not have any backdoors. So ensuring those aspects will be done by the vulnerability analyst. Again, there are different products used. Now, you need to have understanding about the network and a certification related to product. Now, example, McAfee or Symantec or Microsoft Defender, all these products, they give their own trainings and certification for their products. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Next aspect is, imagine a very big factory. Okay, imagine a very big factory which manufactures the parts of a aeroplane. So they need to have devices. Okay, they need to have devices which manufactures them, and they need to have some automation as well, right? So instead of managing the servers, instead of securing, I mean, we would require to secure those devices as well. The devices used in operation technology, okay, or industrial control systems. So that's where OT and OT security comes in place. So there are, I mean, unfortunately, I have not seen any certification which is specific to the OT security, but technical certification. But from the process point of view, we have 62443 as a security, as a certificate, and you can get certified as an assessor or as an implementer or auditor for 62443. Okay. And if you are somebody who is already in this career, you can do much more R&D on how to secure these devices. Okay. And next is IoT. We know, I mean, we are in a connected world, and the prediction is by 2025 there are going to be more than 30 billion plus, means 3 times of the population of the world, or more than 3 times of the population of the world at that point of time. That many IoT devices will be there. Now, these IoT devices are used in the organizations as well. Okay, or even it can be used, even there are organizations who produce them. Imagine a fridge, integrated a smart fridge, okay, which even have a camera, which even be able to listen to you. Okay, so this need to be secured. We need to ensure that somebody, I mean, the product team need to ensure that these are not hackable by somebody else. Okay, that's where the security testing, the vulnerability assessment, etc., need to be done for IoT devices. Now, if you are already an IoT developer, this is another field where you can explore more. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Okay, relating to the, okay, starting with the bug bounty, which Vivin had explained. Now, we need to, when a website is developed, or when an application is developed, or when a product is developed, okay, we will require to have a set of security requirements which need to be met even from the time of designing, okay, the time of designing, architecturing, the time of developing, the time of testing it. Okay, so if any developers are there, you are able to relate this word. Okay, the time of implementation, all these stages, the security requirements need to be met. Now, an application security team is the one who ensure that the security aspects are covered. There can be product security engineer, DevOps security, okay, then the guys who design it, okay, how it need to be implemented. This security, I mean, this is how the infrastructure component need to be. This is how the connection with the database going to be. These are the ports which need to be opened. All those aspects will be designed by the security architect. And I know, I mean, some of you might have seen when you try to open some of the websites, okay, you might have seen Cloudflare is asking you to ensure, or I mean, click a button saying that you are not a robot. So that's a web application firewall, okay. So which can ensure that an attack cannot be set on a web application. And next level is application BAPT, the people who are going to test the application. Now, to give an example, you use the Google. Okay, you need to reset the password of your Google account, and you get an OTP. And one of the testing done by the application BAPT guy is, okay, can they bypass this OTP? So those kind of tests, ensuring that the application is created in the right way, ensuring that there is a logical workflow available. So all those aspects are covered by the application security. Now, if you are already in the development field, this is one place for you to make a jump. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Very good. Now, I'll say what is the highlight of this slide. You can, if you look into the extreme bottom, you don't even require any coding skill for any of this governance, risk, and compliance. Now, the set of team who ensures that the security posture of the organization is following the standard requirements which are built. Now, ISO 27001 and privacy related one, GDPR or CCPA. Okay, so each industry, now coming to the PCI-DSS, an industry which handle the payment card information. Okay, they would require to follow set of standards. So these standards are met. NIST again gives a set of standards. Now HITRUST and HIPAA. If the organization handles health related information, they will have to follow certain security requirements. And this guys will ensure that the security requirements are met. Now, are they going to configure a firewall? Are they going to develop the software? No. They are ensuring that the guys who are doing it are following the standard requirements as per the framework which is set. So this is a place where you can now coming on the last one of this, policy and procedure creation. So creating security policies, okay. Then creating report of the organization. Sometimes you might see fancy report saying that, okay, organization security posture at this percentage. Okay, we have improved it by say 2 levels or 3 levels. So the maturity level of the organization. Now, these are the guys who may not be expert in technical aspects, but who can ensure that people are following it. So that's where we are saying governance. GRC means governance. Okay, risk and compliance. So people are identifying the risk and they are complying to what is defined. Okay, that's where this team is ensuring. Now, there are many certifications available for each of this. Okay, ISO 27001 implementer auditor, the DPO data privacy officer, and HIPAA and HITRUST. I mean, those are little costly. Okay, but for the other tools, you can easily get free trainings available. So this is another place. Okay, and I know people with bachelor of commerce or say arts, okay, BA. So those people are doing this kind of job. Not necessary that you need to know the complete detail of a network or any of those aspects. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Now, there need to be a set of people. I was saying about we define, okay, what are the things based on your industry, what are the different things an organization need to follow. So that expectation is set, and they created the policies as well. Now, a set of team need to go and ensure that people are following it. They are the internal auditors. Okay, and when you go and do it for other parties, other organizations, you can I mean, that's another service which is provided. Okay, that's where external certification audit or external third party audit comes in place. Okay, and sometimes somebody would require to verify whether the organization having enough requirements for GDPR or any of the compliance requirement. Okay, that's where the compliance audit comes in place. So this is another field. So when you say somebody is an auditor, don't think that he is a CA. Okay, in cybersecurity as well, there is audit. And again, now you really you really like training people. Okay, you really like to train people on different aspects. Your skill is related to that. Okay, then you can train people on cybersecurity awareness as well. And it can be assessed as well. Awareness can be assessed as well. Now, we say simulations. We simulate different activities to check the security knowledge of an organization by sending some mails which looks like genuine, and see what percentage of the people are responding to that. So those kind of awareness training and assessing can be performed. This is another skill. Again, none of this require any coding knowledge, and you even without much knowledge of the infrastructure, you can go for it. You consider yourself as a person who find difficult to understand the technologies. Okay, this could be one part for you. Again, we need to ensure that the organization in case of a disaster or in case of a unexpected event, organization can continue its business. That's where the business continuity plan and disaster recovery is going to come in place. And there are specific certification like 22301. Okay, so you can get trained and certified in implementer or auditor. Okay, then for the professional certification, I mean ISO 27001 I was mentioning, for CISA as well. Okay, CISA is another certification for auditors. Okay, so you can be trained and certified for this, so that the you can pitch in. And this certifications can help you to get into an organization very easily. Okay, there was one question. Let me see. Is it okay? It is from Jacob, so I think that's fine. I hope you are adding the questions. And to conclude, I wanted to say something. Okay, now if you are asking a fish and a monkey and to check the skill of them, if you are asking them to climb onto a tree, okay, who will win? Of course, the monkey will win. But if the test is for swimming in the water, fish will win, right? So each people have their own calibers, their own capacities. So what is apt for you based on your skill, your scope? That's what you should choose. I mean, the example which I given in the beginning, somebody who started a costly certification course in cybersecurity and unable to complete that. Okay, let that kind of a situation not come to any of you, and let you be able to choose your right career. So from this, okay, try to note down the skills which you felt more apt for you, and you have to concentrate on that and build your skill in that. Okay, thank you all and all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Vinchata. So, Vinchata, can you, for the next part of the session, we are diving a bit deep into forensic science, which is a specialty area where Mr. Vipin is actually practicing. Over to you, Vinchata.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Okay, this is a slight focus session into forensic science, especially cyber forensics. Okay, this is forensic science is the application of science to law. That means that we will be applying scientific principles. Okay, let's do something. Okay, please have a look at this picture, and then I'll be asking a few questions about it. You can respond in the chat box. Please do have a good look at this picture. I'll be counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. You can respond in the chat box. What color coffee mug was in the picture? Okay, Joshua got it right at the first time. Okay, good. Okay, there are a few other people who got it right. That's good. And when was the deadline? Oh, Nirmal got it right. Okay, okay, good. Then the last question is, okay, we are getting multiple answers. So all of you have got good observation skills. Okay. So if you want a career in cyber forensics, it's a good thing to have good observational skills, and if you have doubt, never hesitate to verify it. This is one another important aspect in forensics. If you have a particular doubt, or if you are not sure about anything, verify it. Trust but verify. That should be our motto. Okay, let's see what digital forensics is. Okay, we are applying scientific principles to prove the digital evidence. Nowadays, we are having digital devices everywhere, right? In the previous picture that I have shown you, okay, here we are not able to find any devices, right? but almost every crime scene that we face right now are having digital devices. Digital devices, which are the digital devices that you will usually carry with your home? Okay, carry it to your room. Mobile phones, then what else? Maybe there may be pen drives and all those other aspects, right? There may be CDs, CD players, and all those things. All those things, okay, all those things will constitute digital data, and those digital data should be collected. Okay, laptop, tablet, yeah. Almost every crime scene that we face right now are having digital devices, at least 2 or 3 devices. That nowadays, that's what happening. Every crime scene is a digital crime scene too. So we need digital forensic experts and people who are experts in collecting digital data, so that we can present that digital data in a court of law, and it has to be presented in the form of evidence. So this is what it is important. A court of law will accept only if the digital evidence is collected in a proper format. Okay, there are some sub classifications inside this forensic field. Let me describe it. Okay, cyber forensics is can be divided into 2. First is the traditional forensics kind of thing. That means if our system is in shutdown mode, if it is powered off, we can apply this traditional forensics methodology and then collect evidence. But nowadays, we are more interested in live forensics. That means if our system is switched on, if the culprit system is switched on, we can collect more information from that system. In the early days, what we did is that we will switch off the system and then we will collect evidence. But nowadays, if the system is switched on, we will collect live data from that system, and then we will go for the traditional kind of forensics. This is one kind of classification for cyber forensics. Then there is one another classification. This is about the disk forensics. This disk forensics deals with all kinds of pen drives, portable hard disk, memory cards, and all those kinds of things. This is comparatively an older kind of forensic field, disk forensics. We have been relying on disk forensics for long, but still it is a very valid field. We can collect a lot of data from hard disk. Then comes the network forensics. In this network forensics field, the network forensic experts will be collecting network data. That means the data in transit. Whenever we are accessing internet, data is being sent and received. So if a person is collecting that data for the sake of evidence, we can call it as network forensics. And there are specialized hardware tools and software tools for doing that. Then there is this device forensics. This device forensics is a wide area. Nowadays, so many things are included in the device forensics. Can you name any of them? Device forensics. First one is, okay, CCTV, right? Aramil is right. CCTV is right. And there are some things in the chat, folks, that already smart watches, good. And what else? Phones. Then mobile phones, right? Then IoT devices, Internet of Things devices, then drones, and all those things are included in the device forensics area. Each forensic area is having its own expertise. Okay, we can gain experience. Okay, device forensic laptop will also be considered as a desktop kind of architecture. So all the PCs and laptops will be considered as such. But nowadays there are some laptops which comes with mobile operating systems with something like Android, that will be considered as with the device forensics. Okay, any doubts about this classification? Okay, good. So for gaining expertise in cyber forensics, it is a good idea to have basic computer hardware and network knowledge. Like in the previous session, like Jebin Chatan has told, that CompTIA A+ that deals with the basic computer hardware, and that network knowledge will also always be helpful over here too. So if you are moving on to forensics, it is also a good idea to learn these things. And system administration skills, basic system administration skills are necessary, so that if you're going to a crime scene and collecting evidence, if the system is having any issues, and if there are only some basic issues, if you can troubleshoot the issue and collect evidence, that will be a good idea. So an incident handler, there is this new word called incident handling. A particular person who goes to a crime scene and collects the data is called an incident handler. So for an incident handler, basic system administration skills will always be helpful. Okay, then digital forensics, we are applying digital forensics. These all people are using digital forensics and gathering data as a part of evidence. Law enforcement people, okay, police and law enforcement people are collecting data, and they are collecting data in such a way that it will be accepted in a court of law. So that's why a digital forensic expert is necessary. Only a digital forensic expert can make sure that the data reaches court in such a way that it is acceptable for the court. Then for military operations, also there is collection of data, especially network forensics, network interception, and all those things. For military operations also, they will collect data as a part of evidence. Then businesses and industry organizations, they also collect forensic evidence as a part of compliance and as a part of identifying any particular cyber crime and reporting it to a court of law if it is necessary. So the ultimate aim is to get the evidence accepted by a court of law. For that, even if it is for military operations, or even if it is from the industry, if it is a serious issue, if it is a crime, cyber crime, and if it is a public investigation, sometimes in organizations it may happen that there may be some policy violation. If there are any policy violations, they will be calling in for an internal investigation. So for conducting an internal investigation, we need forensic experts, and sometimes these internal investigations may turn to be public investigations. If there is any critical data that is if there is any particular law that is being violated, law of land that is being violated, then it will become public investigation. So in both these cases, what the forensic expert has to do is that he has to make sure that data is collected in the proper format. So I will give you a brief introduction to some of the forensic principles. This forensic principle is very interesting. It is called the Locard's exchange principle. This was proposed long before the invention of computers and all. This is Edmond Locard. He is a French scientist. He made a statement. The statement is very simple. Every contact by a criminal leaves behind a trail. So if a person is coming to a crime scene, he is exchanging something to the crime scene. Some matter is being placed onto that criminal, and some matter is being placed by the criminal to the crime scene. We can convert this statement to the world of digital forensics. That means if two devices are communicating, there is evidence in both the devices. We can run an investigation, we can collect data, and then that data may indicate the communication between two systems. Are we good? Are we together? Let me know in the chat box. Is it okay? This is one of the fundamental principles in forensics. And this is the reason, that's why a digital forensic expert should be working on a cyber case. If an amateur is working on a case, and he may be trying out some of the commands, some of the applications, and that software may be disturbing the original evidence. So that's why a digital forensic expert is needed. If any other person who has looked at YouTube and learned it in a self-contained way is collecting data, he may try out some of the security tools, the cyber security tools. But in forensics, we need dedicated cyber forensic tools for collecting data. And there is one another important thing: we have to document all these things in the proper format. So in this documentation, we will document the type of software that we have used, the method that we have used. So the list of software, then the methodology, and those things has to be documented. So this is the reason that that's why people needs to be trained in digital forensics to collect data and to preserve it so that it can be presented in a court of law. So this is the reality of digital forensics. You might have seen some of the crime scene investigation web series or movies. Those crime dramas most of them are unrealistic, but in those crime series and all those movies, the investigator is getting the results in a split of seconds. It is not like that. Almost all the forensic tools takes hours to produce results. Okay, in the early days it took many days to produce results, but nowadays with the advent of faster computers, more resources, we are getting results in a few hours. So this is not like a movie. It takes hours, and that's why we need enough patience to collect the data and interpret the data, and the results need interpretation of a skilled scientist. Even if we are finding something, we have to verify it, whether it is planted or whether it is an original data or whether it is a planted data. So in an ordinary investigation, it happens. Sometimes if it is not a skilled scientist, he may not be able to identify a planted data. I hope all of you are familiar with the recent case of a priest, okay? And in that case, some of the forensic experts are having mixed opinions because of this lack of skills. But an expert can identify planted data as well. So that's the necessity of a digital forensic scientist. And lots of paperwork is necessary. And whenever we are visiting a court for giving testimony as an expert witness, the court will always verify the paperwork and the report written over there. They will question us regarding the authenticity of this. And a digital forensic expert rarely goes to crime scenes. Usually the police officials, people from the cyber cell used to collect this data, and only in some particular cases only forensic expert would be visiting crime scene, and be aware of this fact that searching for digital evidence from a digital source is like searching for a needle in a haystack. We may not be able to find the data at first, but it needs enough patience and innovative ideas to search for this particular data that we need. So it is not easy, but it is very interesting. And why should we learn digital forensics? It is one of the fastest growing markets. And if you're asking about job opportunities in the field of in the field of digital forensics, it is still evolving. In our country, India, the job opportunities are still evolving, and in the government sector there are few opportunities, but not many. But for considering cybersecurity and cyber forensics, If you're more interested into these cyber forensics, then only I will suggest, this is my personal suggestion. If you're more into cyber security, it is good to go with cyber security. And if you're really interested in cyber forensics and have enough patience to do hours of analysis, then only you may come to digital forensics. And there are so many learning platforms for getting the concepts of cyber forensics. The first is NIST publications. As Jebin Chetan has rightly pointed out, this is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. They are putting up NIST publications, and that is a good place to start with. And then for cyber security also, this OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project, they are having one of the good documentation for this application security. And then there is DEF CON conferences. You can find them on YouTube and many other video streaming sites. And there are some podcasts as well. Then B-Sides is also one another security group, which will provide updates about cyber security. Then SANS publications, although the certifications from SANS are costly, some of the publications are free. It is a good thing to subscribe to SANS publications, and most of the resources are available for free. Not most, some of the resources, okay. And Twitter is a good place to improve your career in. Okay, even if you are trying to give a jump start to cybersecurity, it is a good thing to follow some security professionals on Twitter. It will make sure that you are getting updates, the latest updates from the security world, cybersecurity world. If you're interested in application security or infrastructure security or in digital forensics or any other kinds of aspects, compliance or PCI DSS or any other kind of things, it is a good idea to follow interesting profiles on Twitter. Make sure that you are following at least 10 people who are publishing good updates in that particular field, and subscribe to channels and list on Twitter. There is a dedicated list on Twitter about cybersecurity professionals, okay, and it's a good idea to follow those things. Actions that bring greatest impact. You need continuous upskilling in the cybersecurity world. Computer hardware changes, computer software changes, and the changes will keep on happening. And we need to upskill ourselves to keep up with the latest of the technology. And it is also important to practice what we have learned. There is something called the infinite learning loop. You should never be into that loop. You should learn a technology or learn a security practice and apply it. Maybe you can find some online resources. You can download a virtual machine. There are so many methods for trying it out. If you are afraid to keep your system as your workbench, there are so many other resources. You can search online how to do all these things. And then there is a good security distribution called Kali Linux. You can download it for free from internet, and you can practice it. And even without installing it on your system, that is a good way to give a jump start. In that distribution, you can find the various tools that are necessary for gathering information about a particular target, and there are some forensic tools as well inside that. And I would like to share some of the resources. Okay, these are some of the good resources for digital forensics. Forensics Wiki, this website has been taken down, but luckily it got recovered from the archive, and this is available at this URL. And then DFIR links, this is a good blog which describes the various aspects of digital forensics, various fields inside digital forensics. And this is the link that I will highlight. Okay, this link covers almost every kind of substreams in forensics and the latest updates. This is a start.me page. I would request you to take a screenshot of this slide so that you can watch all these links and explore all these things. And once you have completed, please let me know in the chat box. So let me conclude my session. We need cybersecurity professionals. Industry needs good cybersecurity professionals. Industry needs good ethical cybersecurity professionals with values. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we are at the question answer Q&A session of our webinar. Before we start with Q&A, let me introduce our panelists once more. Naveen Jatan has more than 20 years of experience in cybersecurity. Currently, he is Associate Vice President for a leading international bank. Jebin Jatan has 15 plus years of experience in cybersecurity across finance, manufacturing, and energy sectors. Currently, he is Regional Manager, Southeast Asia for a leading industrial conglomerate. Arun Jatan also has 15 years of experience in developing enterprise-grade applications and big data and analytics. He is currently Program Manager for a leading tech company in Bangalore. Vipin Jatan is having a lot of consulting experience in forensic science, more than 5 years of experience with a leading ISP. He's also an MTech in for digital forensic and information security. So let me, with that, let me look at the Slido questions that we have. So we have about we have among the many questions we have. I'm just reading out the most popular questions that I've placed here. The first question that we received for the day was, what are the job-seeking places for cybersecurity in India?
Devin, you want to take that question?
I mean, since we move to more mode of what do you say, work from home and virtual world, I mean, it's possible from everywhere. Okay, it's possible from everywhere or anywhere. However, if you are in Bangalore, Noida, okay, then of course Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Pune, these are the cities I see more number of requirements coming. Of course, Chennai also.
Yeah,
Chennai also.
You are the only person from Chennai. Do you want to add?
Yeah, so I was working in a tier 2 city in India, Cochin, almost 3 years back, and then I moved to Chennai. And before moving to Kochi, I was in Bangalore. So this whole story says, I was in Bangalore, moved to a tier 2 city, and then moved back to Chennai. It says that there are positions available, in work from office kind of a posture. We have positions available more in this kind of tier 1 cities like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, or that kind of places. So that's a fact. But as Jebin already mentioned, this work from home posture actually gives opportunity for people to, work even from remote places. Yeah, but some companies, especially in the sensitive kind of roles, look for people in office. I'm working in one such company where they want us to work from office. So having said that, and our offices are in Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, that kind of places only. So, if you look at overall, yeah, these kind of cities where you have a lot of opportunities available, but that doesn't mean that, you will not find any opportunities in other places as well.
Thank you, Richard. So let's move on to the next question. So higher study opportunities and programs in cybersecurity after completing BTech Computer Science and Engineering. So that is the next question. So this is the Like for people from engineering background with a computer science engineering background, what are the higher study opportunities in cybersecurity? Not a job, higher studies.
Yeah, Bipin, can you help with this?
Sure, sure. If you're specifically looking for cyber security, there are master's courses, MTech courses available in premier institutions, including some of the IITs. It is a good idea to go and do masters at a good institution to gain much insights about this cyber security. Would you like to know about the institutions? You can Google it out. There are some colleges in Kerala as well, and I'm not going to point out some of the institutions, but make sure that those colleges are having good ratings as well. And please have a look at the alumni and where they are, what they are doing, and where are they working, and all those things. You may please contact the alumni of those colleges and then decide about the colleges.
Thank you, Vijay. Moving on to the next question. Which kind of companies have requirement for cybersecurity professionals? Opening this question to the panel.
I mean, the simplest answer is any organization who use at least 50 plus number of computers. Okay, they would require an advice or help from the cybersecurity person. It can be internal or it can be external. But if you look, the organization in energy sector, IT industry, organization in financial sector, banking, insurance, the people who handle information related to payment card or information related to people health, okay, they have more industry mandate to ensure that cyber security is met, and anybody who gives services to this company as well, okay, they also have in turn the mandate to ensure the cyber security posture is met. So the number of opportunities will be more there. Naveen Cheta, would you like to add anything?
Right. So you said it clearly, Jevin. Just wanted to add one more thing. And not every company will be, interested to have this kind of positions. It's a vast area to explain in a couple of minutes, but some people prefer to have the issues accepted. Right now, for example, if their systems went down for a couple of hours or even one day, they will manage with pen and paper kind of mode. Then they prefer to not having any kind of checks and controls in there. So it's very old way of doing this thing. But moving on, digitization is, as we mentioned in the beginning, digitization is something which you cannot exclude from your any of the businesses. This is going to be a reality. Everyone needs to have some kind of cybersecurity support. So that's the future.
Got it. Moving on to the next question. How difficult is it to get certified in A+ or N+ for people from non-tech background? I believe A+ is our hardware certification and N+ is our network certification, right?
Can say the computer basic and the basic of the networking.
Okay, basics of networking. Okay, so Cheta, how difficult will it be for people from non-technology background?
The first thing which I want to tell you is you don't need to get certified. Okay, now organization who, I mean, in Indian context, organization who look for an A+ or N+ certificate, okay, as a criteria for recruiting somebody is very less. But if you go to foreign countries, of course, they keep it as a criteria. Second aspect, you need to have the knowledge. To gain the knowledge, again, these are basic levels. Okay, these are basic levels. You don't need an engineering degree or science background.
That is great. There is another question related to it, a couple of down. So, but I'm bringing this up because we're taking the same topic. So, this question is about what is the usual salary range for jobs in GRC and BCP. Uh, so I guess you already mentioned in the webinar that people from non-tech background usually are in GRC and BCP area of cybersecurity. So
not that way. I was saying
okay.
you don't need to have the coding skill. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You have the coding skill at all. I mean, it's not necessary that non-technical. Even there are. I know people who really do not want to develop it. I mean, do not like coding. Okay, for whatever reason it could be. So those people who really don't want to do any coding, okay, they can look for GRC. Now, even some of the IT security as well, it's only basic. I mean, if you recall the slide, the IT security stream, even some aspects of cyber defense as well. Application security, you really require expert level of coding, okay, and security assessment, cyber defense assessment, those kind of things as well, you would require a expert level of coding. Okay, so I'm replacing the word technical with the coding knowledge. Okay, now coming back to the original question.
So original question was what is the salary range? I guess the question is actually intended because if will we get paid more if we have tech background, or will there be a discrimination between people who have coding knowledge and no coding knowledge?
It purely depends on the culture of the organization, I would say. Now, some organizations have salary scales set based on their education background. Somebody with an engineering graduation, or somebody with an MCA, somebody with a master's in engineering. These are the salary scale. I mean, those kind of there are organizations who have salary decided based on the graduation. If you those companies, of course, it matters. Your degree matters, but otherwise, there is no discrimination based on what graduation you have and what you are doing. Now, GRC compared to somebody who is in the cyber defense, okay, the salary in GRC obviously will be lesser.
Got it. So next question is like,
Naveen, to that, Jabin, and Jake. There was a question, I think, as a sub question of the main topic, like the basic requirement for having, the basic graduation requirement. I have a colleague in bank which I work for. He's basically a microbiologist. He's done his master's in microbiology, and then he moved to the security side of it. It's a long journey, not an easy journey, but he is one of the gem in our team who is doing the risk management in the actually development team, right? He's not a developer, he's not doing any codes, but he does the risk assessments in the development side of it, and he leads some of the product development, security product development projects as well. What I wanted to say here is it may not be an option for everyone, but there are chances if you are passionate, if you are interested, if you can spend invest time in learning, then your basic graduation, what graduation you are doing is not a barrier. That's all I wanted to add there. Thank you.
Again, another related question that got recently quoted. So, if I take certification without graduation, will I be in trouble later? What do you suggest?
I'll take Jibin and then.
Yes, please.
Certifications, I don't know whether they are saying that without graduation, which means that after finishing the schooling, going directly to certification, or with a non-technical graduation. I'm not sure about that. I don't think we have the details, right, Jacob?
No details. I guess someone.
Maybe I can put it this way.
Okay.
There are three things. One is your education background. Second one is your certification. But third one, your skill set. Okay, what you really know, what you are capable of. Okay, that's what more important than the first two. Now, if you really have the skill set, okay, and if you are able to prove it, okay, even if you are not a graduate. I mean, I know one guy who is not a graduate who works for a good company. I mean, not a graduate in the sense he did a distant education 6-month BA or something, but he got into a reputed company. The reason was he had the skill set. He didn't even have the certification. So having the skill set, having the knowledge, that's what more important than the other two. Now, like I said, based on some of the culture of some organizations, they mandate that at least 15 years of formal education is needed. Some organizations say a bachelor degree is must. Some organizations would say an engineering degree is must. But there are places for everybody. And will you be in trouble for doing a certification? Nobody can. You will not be in trouble for improving your knowledge. That's for sure. Yeah, yes, Jacob.
That's good. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Will there be traveling opportunity for cybersecurity jobs, like traveling around the world or migrating to another country? Will it be just from work from one place only, or will we get to travel? I guess it's actually a
Now,
question.
if your aspiration is to go abroad and work, okay, there are a lot of opportunities available. Okay, the two things to remember. Now, everywhere in the world, the cybersecurity, none of the countries in the world have enough number of cybersecurity experts. That means there is a requirement everywhere. Again, the most important thing, your skill set.
I think that here, being in this role, will it get chance to, travel? I think that is one another aspect of the question, I guess. I know people who are in the information security audit field who travels a lot, to do the physical assessments in various offices. One of my colleague, again, he traveled a lot, and then he said, enough of travel, and so let me change my job. So there are opportunities in the information security audit side which needs a lot of travel. You need to visit different office locations, different customers, depending on the kind of company you are working for. Such jobs, audit jobs, requires a lot of travel. Yeah, I don't know, the future is changing, right? After the COVID-19, it is changing a lot. Assessments, audits are kind of remote now. So that will have impact on every kind of job that requires travel, once the COVID situation, it's still, things are evolving. So people may not be traveling as much as they were traveling in the pre-COVID era. That's what I wanted to say here. But yeah, there are jobs within cybersecurity that needs travel.
Yeah. I mean, to summarize, two aspects here. One is going and settling abroad. Second one is the travels. So with this skill set career, you can go and settle abroad. Yes, possible. But the travel all over, it will be lesser.
Got it. So moving on to the next question. We'll be taking two more questions today. This is like third from the last. Deepak C. Varghese has commented, I'm currently doing my master's in cybersecurity. How can we get internship in cybersecurity? Deepak, if you are still in the webinar, can you just put in the chat window whether you're doing it from India or outside, like where you're doing it from?
That question was not clear for me.
Okay, Deepak is asking, he is currently doing masters in cybersecurity. Where can he get internships? How can he get internships? Yes, Deepak is in the chat.
Okay, okay.
Deepak, can you mention, are you inside or outside India? I guess that should be the first thing. That should
Yeah,
help us answer it better.
I think Vivin will have more idea with this, I believe.
Yeah, I could say that Kerala Police Academy has a dedicated research and publication wing where MTech students could come and then do their research, and then they can do internships at Kerala Police Academy. First, they have to apply it, and then if the application gets approved, they can do internships at Kerala Police Academy for free. That's a good opportunity, by the way. You'll be getting all the access to the library resources and some of the limited access to cybersecurity resources as well. And there are some other companies as well which provides internships and never do internships by paying some money. Okay.
Thank you, Vipin Chera. I think that helps. Any additions? Okay, cool.
I mean, most of the companies offers internship that much, but not very specific information available with me.
So there is a question here, like, where can I get these certifications mentioned? Like, is it the same body that is giving A plus, M plus, CSA plus, CEH, ISO, CISA? Like, should we go for? I guess what the person is actually asking is, should we go for coaching, or should we just prepare from online and
Okay.
approach?
Yeah, it depends on your nature, I would say. I mean, what is your nature? Now, there are people who are comfortable by attending an online class and gaining knowledge. Okay. Now, those people, the first choice is always getting them from the online, the free trainings without spending money. Attending the free training is what my first choice and my first advice. Now, second, now it need more discipline, because you have not spent the money, nobody is behind you. Okay, you have to manage yourself, your time. So that means you need discipline. Now you lack little bit discipline and you need an extra motivation. Okay, then you can buy for a course from different training applications available. Okay, and you can attend them. Now you really need an instructor-led training where you can ask questions and learn. Then you should seek for an institute. So these are the three options available. Again, in free trainings, we have many available. I mean, a large number of trainings available in YouTube. Even some of the companies offer, I mean, free trainings on their product as well. Now, some of the foreign universities offers the A plus N plus level of basic information security and advanced information security courses for free. Okay. We are gathering it in a kind of a document, okay, and probably in a few weeks we'll share it with the people who register as well.
Cool. I'm taking the last question for the day now. So this is a bit of generic question, like, how can I practice CTF and gain knowledge?
Vipin?
Okay, practicing CTFs. There are so many websites which gives this CTF platform, but one of the best ones I'm suggesting is that Capture the Flag 101, ctf101.org. Please visit this website and then go through the categories cybersecurity categories. There are dedicated sections for forensics, binary exploitation, reverse engineering, crypto, those kinds of things. Okay, so it is a good thing to visit this website, and don't limit yourself. You can find CTF, different CTF platforms on different websites. Okay, let me share the link in the chat box.
I guess that works.
Okay.
With this, I guess, yeah, we have come to the end of our Q&A session. Request Jatan to announce what we are planning for future, what we can do, like how we can support you as a group.
Yeah. To summarize, identify your skill and identify the trainings or the areas which is based on your skill. And like I said, go for the free ones first, okay, before you spend a lot of money on paid training courses. Okay, improving your skill, that's what most important for you. And second comes the certifications. Okay, so but the first one is improving your skill. You don't need to get certified in all the A plus, N plus, and all the other aspects. Okay, so get the knowledge. That's the first priority which you will have. And second thing, we would be sharing you the Google form where you can share your area of interest. And once you share your area of interest, okay, some of you feel that, okay, cyber forensic is good for you. Some of you feel that under GRC auditing or those kind of ISO 27001 is good for you. So share your interest in what area of or what stream, okay, or the substream which you are planning to focus. And we may not be able to cover everything, but based on the number of interest, say 15 people interested for say cyber forensic, okay, in that case we will in future we will arrange another interest group gathering where we would be able to share more specific information about them. So that's the next level. And Jacob, I mean, are we good to conclude? Any other things to take up? I mean, Jeta, Vipin, Arun?
I'm good.
Good.
Good. Yeah, good.
Thanks everyone for attending today's webinar.
Yeah.
I hope we have been able to help you at least in a small way to kickstart your journey in starting your career in cybersecurity. We'll keep in touch. We'll send out the feedback forms along with some of the materials we discussed today, so that you can use it as a reference guide to plan your journey ahead. Before we conclude, I'd like to keep us all in a small prayer.
Yeah. Probably we can make a concluding prayer. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's thank the God for this wonderful day, all the information we received. Thanking for all the participants who were able to join. Thanking Lord for Naveen Chetan, Arun, Vipin, Jacob. And Lord, we are surrendering all our aspirations, all our plans, all the decisions we made in our life, surrendering all the challenges in our life. Especially there are a lot of uncertainty which caused in our life due to the COVID situation. Some of us were expected to join for a job and support our family, but because of the situation, some of us may not be able to do that. Surrendering all those situations. And Lord, we believe in your word, which says, God can make everything for good, for those who love him, for those who called according to his purpose. We rely on this promise, Lord, and thanking you once again, and help us to be determined, help us to sustain in the decisions we have taken in our life. And we will conclude with saying the prayer of the universal prayer, Our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from every evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and glory, always and forever. Amen. Thank you all. We wish all the best for each one of you, and hope we can connect back again. Thank you.
That's nice. Thank you.
Jacob, you can stop the recording and close that YouTube.